Yeah, I'm ready. The broadcast is live.
That's right. Hey, y'all. Noah,
How you
everyone
doing?
who
How you
returns
doing,
to
Idget?
the channel. Idjit's in the house. He was first. What's going up, Quentin? Quentin up in Canada, right? I mean, right now, even just with um Idjit Reads and Rambles in the house, we are multinational, a triple, right? We got Canada in the house, United States, and Slovenia.
Ask him how he would feel about Canada joining the Warsaw Pact.
You just asked him. You just
Okay,
asked him.
Idget, how do
Hey
you think
guys,
how do you think the U.S. would react if Canada joined the Warsaw Pact?
I got a cat in here. They usually jump out, or they usually bust out if I'm in here. But so
Yeah,
for
well,
those of you who don't know, we have Rick Harsch, owner operator of Corona Samizdat Press, in the house. How you, Rick?
yeah,
I
I'm
have.
touching my. Oh,
He's reaching out to everybody. We can't do too much about the USA typically. Idjit says.
yeah, but how does he think if the Warsaw Pact still existed and Canada wanted to join? How does he think the U.S. would do anything? Would the U.S. allow that?
Everything's sounding good.
Yeah, everything's sounding.
Okay, cool.
But I'm kind of wondering about that.
Hey man, only a Canadian. Hey, you got a bunch of Canadian friends. Why don't you? I mean, for real, a Canadian kind of focus on in Corona Summers Press, right? You got Jeff Bursey,
I don't focus on
D.D.
anybody.
Thompson. Well,
For me,
it seems like you
they're
got
all just. I
three or four.
imagine if I haven't met a writer in person, I just figure they're hunchbacks, very short. And so to me, the Canadians are just a bunch of hunchbacks. No offense, or offense, I don't know, but Idjit, I could just see him. He's probably got his back hunched from the rhubarb patch.
Right,
Hey, Emily.
I'm reading so many books all the time. Hey, baby, Emily Clemens in the house. She's actually in my house as well. So thanks for stopping by and hanging out with me.
Idjit's got a split personality.
Is that
that?
I did hear stories.
He's got a highly academic persona, and he's got the Idjit persona.
Right.
And but he's a very academic fella.
Well, he's a college student, so I mean he's in uni.
Yeah, but I mean enough of the fucking poetry, man.
Okay. Hey, he's into it, man. We've all gone.
He stumbles in the rhubarb patch. He gets stuck there, and that's all you'll find there are poetry books left strewn by drunks from days of yore. And so that's why he's reading all this poetry. Goes to the rhubarb patch, and there. Oh, he's saying something long. Can you read it for me?
For us to join the Warsaw Pact. It'd be weird, given the state's control over our air force in the event of an attack. Also, I also stopped doing the bumps and cuties because people told me it was annoying.
Oh, well.
And then what's wrong with poetry, fool?
Never stop doing something because someone says it's annoying. You can take that, call me Uncle Rick, and giving you advice. See, the thing I'm thinking is, there's this horrible war near me, and it's all a result of NATO expansion, and it's the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and when Slovenia joined, it was a nightmare for me. It's like they were following me. Suleiman, can you just lay still? Can you just lay still? There we
Maybe.
go.
Right.
Oh, no, he's getting up. He's
So
restless.
what prompted this hangout is I finally made another purchase from Samizdat Press. It was a little Father's Day action. So that's a
Here's
belated Father's
Kieran
Day.
Forster. Did you see Kieran Forster? Is he here? I saw him join. I saw his name up here.
I'm sure he might he might be in. I can't see everybody that is.
Well,
present,
I didn't. I
unless
told
they
him
call.
I told him it's either on YouTube or Instagram. You know, because I
Yeah.
don't get how this works.
No, I'm on
He's
YouTube, not Instagram.
okay. Well, I did give him that option, but we talked tonight for quite a while.
Nice.
He's from Brisbane, and he's one of our newer contacts, and we had a great conversation. And interestingly, the next novel we publish, after we finally get the Olaf out, is going to be a novel by a new writer named Wade Ells from Brisbane.
Nice.
And so we've got we're loading up on the Brisbane connections.
Nice.
I would like, Canada is a force in the press, but I would like to make Queensland a force.
My latest read from Canadian writers was a Samizdat book, A Pastoral, Lee D. Thompson's book. It's so fun. It's really weird, and I really enjoyed it. I like it a lot. You come into just the unexpected all the time. John Merkovic says, "Hey, Rick, Noah, and everyone."
John Mirkovic.
There you go. I mean, I don't see an H on the end of that, but
you would see a diacritical mark if it was easy, but his name is Mirkovic, and I can tell you that every single time it comes up, but you'll never remember.
No, I mean, well, because I just read
you
it.
Remember that guy named George Salis?
Salis?
Salis? No, you said Salis. Salis.
It when I have it in front of me, I just read what I see, buddy.
Yeah, well, me too, but I can pronounce them. So you're not really
just internal. So I mean, when I have to speak it, that's the problem.
Well, that's what I've been hearing about. Why people are not joining your booktube is because you can't speak it.
Yeah.
And I tell them, give him a chance. Give him a chance. He'll speak something. And
speaking is fundamental.
Speaking is fundamental
for a booktube, for sure.
But you pronounce fundamental perfectly there.
Did I?
Yeah. I
didn't even try.
I think because it comes from the fundament, and and you're from Georgia, and well, let's put two and two together, and get off the topic. You just let me know when.
We're here to talk about what the press is going on with, right, or what's going on with the press, right? When it comes down to it, what I hear from your content on Instagram, the shipping.
My what? My content?
Yeah, on Instagram. The shipping's just ridiculous, huh?
You mean the shit that I say, or my content?
I mean the content that you put out on Instagram.
You mean the things I say on Instagram?
Right.
That's right. Did you see what I posted earlier? I had this online interview, and it was one of those things that they had drop down things, like you couldn't just answer the question, that you'd have to, there'd be a drop down. And my choices included the only thing similar to novelists, creatives. And I thought, I'm not going to fucking call myself a creative. And so I thought, well, the closest is the medical profession. And so I put down medical profession, and then I got medical questions, and
Right.
can you tell us about your experience? And I don't think it's going to be published. It's
I
called
don't know if it'll work.
Canvas Rebels. And they wanted pictures of me, and I don't have any pictures of me on my computer. So I just sent pictures of books.
I get pictures of you all the time, Rick. Just take pictures from your videos or something.
I'm not very good at that kind of thing. I've got a tablet now because of the film work. I'm tired of showing people phone size clips, and now I can show tablet size clips.
Nice.
And it's a big difference. I don't know. I guess we haven't put it up yet for Instagram, but we have one called The Therapist's Dream, and because it's a movie about therapy, and The Therapist's Dream is done Sergio Leone style.
Nice.
And and the director went nuts when I came up with the idea, because he immediately saw all that he could do in this one space that we have in Isola that's perfect for it. And we had a great sky that day. And, the therapist, he appears, and he finds a cowboy hat, puts it on, and then you get the Sergio Leone style music. We'll have to make it our own, but just to put it in, the director put it in, and I appear from behind a pillar, cowboy hat, duster, cowboy boots, very serious face.
Sure.
And I just stare at the guy, and I stare over at the space behind me, and I just go like this to indicate we need to walk over there. That's where the shootout's going to happen. And those scenes, Sergio Leone will do this. There's even a shot between my legs at the guy I'm facing off with, at the therapist.
Right.
So it's between my legs, and then there's this giant chimney, and the way that he shoots it, I'm bigger than the chimney.
Nice.
Nice. So when I pull my weapon, it's in slow motion, and he goes, like pats himself, and all he can find in his pocket is a potato. It was a sweet potato, but it's in black and white. Huh?
It's not going to do the trick.
Well, it got him killed. But then I get to walk up to him, pick up the potato, take a bite, and spit it out on him. And it's beautiful, beautifully done, beautifully filmed. It's a absolutely gorgeous scene.
I've seen some cool scenes. I can't wait for you to really release some of the movie.
There's so much editing to do, and we have to do the score. So I think we'll be lucky to be by October. But we're 90% done with the shooting. Last night we arranged for one of the last significant scenes, and that requires a doctor. But we got a real doctor, a surgeon, and he'll provide the space, and that's going to be good stuff. So
nice.
But why are we talking about this? Oh,
well, because I don't know. You're sharing. I'm down to hear about what's going on with the press. There's, it's a multimedia kind of press. It's not just books. You're flexing into visual media as well. So all good. But why we're talking, why you're even here is because I made a purchase from Samizdat Books, and we wanted to really showcase how the press is operating, because you have released this kind of thing and on Instagram. I
Well,
wanted to make sure people
yeah.
were, yeah.
Well,
So
yeah.
I grabbed okay, go
A
ahead.
year ago, disaster struck when the United States pressed global postal. There is a global postal organization, and the United States pressed to remove book rates, and at least internationally. I don't know about within the United States, but so I can no longer send book rate. So the prices went up, and I just started including a lot of free books, to make up for the way that good readers are getting screwed by. I don't want anybody to feel screwed. But now the prices have gone up again, and so, for instance, you ordered Solarium.
Right, I got Solarium by Braden Matthew. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
new
and
one that wasn't in the
it's a
catalog my last purchase.
like most of our pocketbooks, it's a €10 book,
Right.
but to
So
send it to the United States is $10.50.
right.
It's actually $10.58, but I'm swallowing 8 cents.
Right.
So, and to make the adding easier, and I could add it to the website. So this is you're paying more for post than for the book,
Right. Yeah,
and that's a
I've seen
problem.
how it works out. It is. And so I grabbed 4 of the pocketbooks. I think they're all pocketbooks what I grabbed off of there, right? Mark Nash's book that you published, The Death of the Author in Triplicate. That is one I'm really excited about. Mark Nash is just a great part of the community. I like his content. He's turned me on to many, many books over the years, and I
This is
can't wait to
my
hear how he writes.
this,
He's an experimental author, right?
yeah, but this is my scale. So this is the process. Um, I put the scale.
Yeah,
Uh,
Connor's in the house. Conrob is saying, "Hey, what's up, Conrob?
hey,
Nice to see
Conrad. So I put the scale on the table, and I put Solarium on the scale
you."
because
Right.
you ordered 4 books and you were charged. Uh, I don't know, what were you charged?
No, it
26.
it's like
You got the price. The
€40.
prices go like this. Um, Up to half a kilo is 10.50. 1 to 2 kilos is now 16. And the way that I'm going to deal with that is I'm going to always use the bigger envelope so I can fit more in. Because
Nice.
normally what I would do is use a smaller envelope or just the big one, and I would just slip in to stay under 1 kilogram. Like if you ordered a bended circuity, it's about 800 grams. And I've got a bunch of books that can fit in there. And I would almost always try to include one. I'd forget sometimes, but so people would order it and they'd get a little skinny free one. But now I'm going to use a bigger envelope so I can fit more, and then there's the 2 kilogram price. All right, that's what you
Yeah.
paid because your 4 books added up to Jesus. It goes off, and then these kitchen scales are awful confusing.
Right.
And all right, so if this is right, Mark Nash is 233 grams. All right.
So, and then I got the newest David Vardaman collection of short stories. Man, I cannot wait for it.
Yeah, well, you've waited long enough,
Man.
Solarium, and Mark Nash add up to 586 grams. You ordered Dave and Roy's Supria at 50,
Right.
which has been neglected by largely by our readership.
Not me.
Now
I had to go for it.
Now we're up to 803 grams.
Nice.
So you want a 1 gram pack or a 1 kilo package, but you fucked it by throwing in Vardaman.
I had
and
to,
now
though.
you're up to 1,109 grams.
Yeah.
And so that means you're paying for a 2 gram or 2 kilogram package, but there's a lot of space in there.
Right.
And then, so I asked you to list books that you might want.
Right.
And on your list, I don't have the list in front of me. Actually, I do, but it's hidden. It's on the page, Instagram page. So I thought, all right, well, you wanted, one of the things you wanted was Oscar Submerges, but you already had that and you traded it away. And
I did.
so
somebody who watches my somebody who watches my YouTube, my booktube, when I had bought it and showed it, expressed interest in it, and then asked to do a book trade. And I was like,
no.
I said I passed it along, baby.
You don't do that. You say, look, it's $10 at Corona Samizdat. You don't trade it. So I wasn't going to give it to you. But one book you don't have, and a lot of people don't have, it's one of my most fun books. You're distracting from the story.
This is what I give the audience what they want. Okay.
Who wanted that?
Conrob and Idjit.
They wanted to see that?
Yeah.
Do they not have the patience to listen to my Noah ordered today's story?
Oh, they're listening.
So I thought, all right, I'm going to send him Finnegan Slept Here. This is a unique work.
Yes.
It's of historic importance in that James Joyce, his medical problems all started from getting drunk in a town just down the coast from us, Piran, or Pirano back then. It was Italian. And he got drunk and he slept on the marlstone, got an infection, and that eventually led to his blindness. So it should be a famous story in a place that people stop at, but nobody ever listens. So an artist I know has just a wonderful sense of humor, and I don't know why it's hard to convey. What happened was I was visiting her and her artist boyfriend, and I didn't know she drew, and she was showing me some of her notebooks, and I would just open it up, and I was just cracking up and laughing at every drawing I saw, and
Nice.
And I said, you guys got to do something for our press, and it ended up she just did it on her own. I think he kind of liked the idea of just letting her do her own thing, and I'm trying to think of one that might come through well on the. They're very, very fascinating. There's always something to do with the sea because it takes place in Piran. She's from Hungary, and well, let's see. I kind of like this one.
Nice.
But it's like Finnegan's Wake in that you put it by your bedside and just keep reading this or that.
Yeah.
You put this by your bedside, you open it up anytime and you just laugh and laugh and laugh. So I thought, okay, no, I'm going to give you this, history and art. You know,
It's great.
So you add
It's
that up.
great, and that,
We're on.
I was really struck by your latest contribution to BookTube is a review you did. What was it? Just yesterday that you did it? It was Matt Booker.
I'm not good at time right now, but I think it was yesterday. Yeah.
I think it was, and it was a book. I mean, man, just some of the pieces out of that were so striking, and none less than, you know, when it's just the 2 lines or 2 paragraphs you said where, you know, James Joyce struggled to make money as a writer. James effing Joyce, you know?
Fucking James fucking Joyce. It didn't say James effing Joyce. You gotta.
Well, I didn't read
it. Are you afraid of getting canceled for foul language or what?
No.
Do you have to watch yourself?
No. I choose to.
Well, then why do you say effing?
Because I choose to not be so harsh, not be so Rick Harsch.
Well, but the quote is James fucking Joyce.
Well, I wasn't quoting. I was just reading. I mean,
yeah,
I haven't
do
read
it
it yet.
Disservice when you present what's in a book. You do it a disservice when you don't actually quote the book. So okay, let's go back to what you ordered. So your 4 books come to the 4 you paid for came to 1107 grams. That's 1 kilogram, which is between 1 and 2. And that means you have to pay the 2. And that means I've got a lot of space in there for other books. So you add Finnegan and you get 1255. And you were damn sure going to get Fatland.
Nice. The other Devin Roy.
Right. I can't remember who it was, but somebody.
Idjit.
Huh? Yeah,
Idjit.
somebody else loves it. I can't remember who it was, but you know, somebody read it and really liked it. Mm-hmm. And so we put that on there, and we're up to 1477. And but that wasn't my next choice. My next choice was, oh shit, you don't have this? No. Tim Conley's book of short stories is pretty amazing. Nice. Every single story.
That's actually an instructor, a professor at Idjit School.
Yeah, I know.
What a small world. What a coincidence, you know?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Also, in Jeff Bursey's book of criticism, he has a page or so on Tim Conley's first book. But this guy's short stories are absolutely unique. You know, one after the other. You don't know what he's going to be doing, and you know, he's fantastic. He really is.
That's a Rick
Harsch review.
Thank you for that.
And then I thought, okay, why don't you have Filthy Synecdoche? It's a Southern book.
Nice.
It's by Ben Lieberman, but he's not on the cover. I don't know how that happened, and I don't know if it was intentional or not. And I don't care. I don't know if Ben cares. I don't think he does. So we're up to 1670. And now
Mr.
we got
Natural is in the house. Happy Friday, man. Thanks for coming by.
So now we're up to 1899. But we've got to put it in an envelope and tape it. And that's going to take
yeah, you got to brick it up.
I like to leave 100 grams for that. Yours took 50 grams. So your package has 4 books that you paid for, 4 free books, and you paid $26.75 for postage.
Nice.
And that's a heavy sum for postage.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, you know, it's what you got to do when you. And it's awesome that you are choosing to do this. I hope this is a viable business model for you to, you know, to fill packages. Yeah,
far from it, because you know, I mean, in the end, I'm going to be, you know, when people choose the free books, like you know, I've got lots of Vardaman books laying around. Early on, we published a lot of his first book. And we got a lot of Vardaman books. Nobody's buying Letters of Thanks from Hell. And that's a good one to just slide into anything,
Nice.
you know, but if somebody says, and can I have Suggestion Diabolique? I want to say, can you buy it? You know, and I'll give you the other one free, you know, but, you know, so I'm going to have to, print more of these.
Yeah.
And
we Suggestion Diabolique of the newest Vardaman. You got to print
of
more?
everything.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
sure.
Bill Clark's books, you know, and with the new printer, they're a bigger printer. Now we don't have the same relationship. The old printer might have given us the old price,
you
know, from 2 years ago. But you know, with this guy, there's no history. He's a nice guy. He does a great job, and his prices are slightly higher, maybe. But you know, we just can't publish as many books. I'll probably have to take. There was nothing published in July. August is going to be the 1-volume Olaf, and then there's going to be a novel by Wade Ells of Brisbane. I think the title, I always forget it, but I think it's Wailing, Madness, Shame, and Death. It's a quote from Oedipus, and it's a dark and beautifully written
sounds
book.
Dark.
Yeah, and so we're introducing a new writer, as we did with the Braden Matthew. Yeah, you know,
so 3 or 4
who's from Manitoba.
3 or 4 books coming through by the end of the year. That's, you know, Corona Samizdat has a huge catalog, man. You've been killing.
We've got a list of at least 12 books that need to be published. Randall Eldon Green has a book of short stories I'd like to get out. Luke Dellin has at least one more book ready to go. Yeah, luckily we got plenty of those left. Purple West is going to have to be replenished, and so we're just going to be behind.
I was hoping you might throw that one in there. That was one that I just kind of. But it's okay. You know, I can't get them all. I mean, man, you have so much. I just can't get them all. I will eventually.
Yeah. $10.
That's right.
So what do we do? What do we do when you want to buy one book, and it's $10 for the book and $10.50 for the post?
I mean, what do you do? I mean, do you do?
Well, I think what we try to do, you know? We try to get 2 books, like, okay, Nash and Conley. Let's see if they come in under half a kilo. All right, because if they do,
is it tough to do that?
Well, let's see with our kitchen scale. 193 for Conley.
That's a good start.
And so 426.
That's great. You did it.
So if somebody wants to order, you know, what I say, it's
if
on
you
the
get
site
Martin
now,
Nash, you can get Conley a little Conley on the side,
or vice versa.
Hey, and Conrad says he got the Rick discount and got 3 in 1. What did he have to do to get that Rick discount?
What did he get?
He said he got the Rick discount and got 3 in 1. So what did he?
I
what did
like him more than I like you. You know.
Right. Hey, you know, he's another Southern boy. That's okay.
Yeah. No, I just try to do what I can, and I don't really care much about I'm not going to make money off this, but we may make money off the films. So, we'll see. But we, if somebody really wants a certain book,
yeah,
they'll buy that book, and if they get an extra book,
right,
they get an extra book.
So the main thing is, I guess, a good thing. Just off the top of my head, you tell me if this is the way to go or not. Maybe if you purchase from Corona Samizdat 1 or 2 books that you might be interested in, something like that, then in the notes, list 2 more that you'd be happy to have.
Ultimately, that's the best way for it to be done. Just a list of books. Otherwise,
have 2, buy 2, purchase 2, and then, or 1 or 2 or whatever you're interested in. But then in the notes, in like the little text box, just list 2 or 3 that you'd be happy to have, and then let Rick work out the weight.
Or email me and
right.
Email me and we can discuss it. Like Paul Dembina, I use his name because I don't think was a secret. I can't remember, but he funded as a contribution to the press way back 3 years ago. And Paul, if you weren't supposed to be outed like this, he funded Jeff Percy's Unidentified Man at Left of Photo. He paid for the printing.
Nice.
And I hadn't heard from him for a while, and he made an order, and I just wrote him, please choose 2 free books. And he did. But now I've got the site. If you look up the site, on the menu, it says free books. Nice. And you hit that, and there's an explanation of all this. Much of the I took notes today, Noah. I've never done that. Because Matt Booker sent me his field notes that he loves so much. So I've been using it. And so what I wanted to say is that, crowdfunding. I've heard a lot of people talk about crowdfunding. And, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Because I don't like Patreon. I don't like crowdfunding, because it's all the system pushing the responsibility onto individuals who are basically saying, I'm doing something of value. Can you help me? And that's just not, the wealthiest country in the world has got people begging for money. And I think it sucks. And, there is what is a press that is doing all the Kickstarters all the time?
I don't know.
Oh, you do. They did the Alexander Theroux.
Oh, is it Tough Poets Press?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't do any, I didn't know how they might fund their stuff.
Well, yeah.
But I know that they were doing the Thoreau, yeah.
Everything they do is kickstarting, and I'm sure that they've published a lot of great books, but for Alexander Theroux, when it comes down to being an irascible and negative force in literature, no one tops Theroux, whose Darkenville's Cat could be published by anybody, and he would get his royalties. He would get,
right.
And he's apparently been a dick about it for decades. And now people are buying that fucking book, which is worth $20 to $30 tops. they're buying it for hundreds.
Right.
And so then to crowdfund his other books,
Short stories and
I think
things
it's
like that.
fucking
Yeah.
grotesque. I don't
Early
care what
stories,
it is.
later stories.
I don't care if I don't care if it's T.S. Eliot's Wasteland. Fuck it. That's not to be crowdfunded. I'll publish his T.S. Eliot's Wasteland if T.S. is having troubles. But I'm
sure it's public domain by now. You could just publish it if you wanted, Rick. I mean, I have no doubt you might. I mean, the press just keeps on moving, man. So
the next book after Wade Ells, of Brisbane, is going to be by Walter de la Mare, on an introduction by Ben Lieberman, whose idea it was, and Memoirs of a Midget.
Is that right?
So that's public domain. Yeah.
Nice.
But the thing that also needs to be mentioned here, because it's in my notes, is that the way the capitalist system it runs and tricks people, or lulls you into believing this, is that if the price of paper goes up, I have to charge more.
Right.
That's not true.
No.
I don't have to charge more at any point. The price of books has gone up. I have to charge more. The price of post has gone up. I have to charge more. Bullshit. I have to accept less.
Hey, Michael. And your hair is fabulous. Thanks for coming by.
Hey, Michael. So, fobbing price hikes off on the customers is grotesque. You see it, with oil companies are pretty good at that. They have a problem.
It's kind of their thing.
There are some limitations to sea travel, like bottlenecks. Like, if a boat turns sideways in the Suez Canal and suddenly oil tankers can't get through, what happens? Well, there's a scarcity, and we got to pay more for gas and oil. I mean, what is the actual necessity of that? That's something that they've defined as something we have to do. There are governments, and that's my last point, is that what's happened with the Post is it's no longer viewed as a public service, as a government service. It is now viewed as a private business. I haven't researched it, but I was told by my manager, the Post manager here, that it was the United States that removed the possibility of it being sent as paper, as a book, and it has to be sent as merchandise, and so that wiped out any possibility of me using what I'd been using, and was responsible for the price hike last year. And now already there's another price hike, and I wrote the post office in Slovenia to protest this, and they said, nothing we can do. And, just standard letter, like, you don't qualify for, it's for big businesses. Like if you order, if you order 48 of these, I can send it to you for something around $40.
Right.
Because I sent 100 copies to Scotland for his 50 copies to Scotland for his coming out party.
Nice.
We'll call it, which will be in September. And I found out that there was a deal I could get as a business. I never think of myself as a business. We're basically a fumbling attempt at a nonprofit, but there is no category here for the nonprofit that helps me. So
Right.
I'm actually, I pay an accountant. I don't know how much it's going to cost this year, but the accountant's a good political woman, and very smart, and we'll have lots of conversations, and so maybe I think she'll be very fair. But the very fact that I have to have an accountant,
Right.
and is insane.
Yeah.
I think. I'm just selling books. I'm not.
Yeah. Right.
Now I have to keep track of every cent I spend, and
Right.
I'm not making any money. All the money from my books go back into the press. We're going to have to do this year is have a month off at the end of the year, and everything we sell will go to our hot shots, like Robert Stickley. He's not gotten any royalties yet. Phil Friedenberg's gotten lots of royalties, but I owe him lots more. And Zach Tanner has never gotten royalties.
This is all the bended security I have. I mean, man, I've tried to start it. It's one of those things that just takes, a full commitment. That book takes a full commitment.
Yeah, and it's a lot easier if you have the Corona Samizdat copy. How much did you pay for that?
Nothing. He sent that to me before you had printed. You had picked him up.
Oh, because he was selling it for like $35 for a while.
We had
trying to make some money back.
And Zach Tanner, man, right? That's the last I read from Zach. I wish that I don't know. Maybe I'll jump into Margie. I really enjoyed this slim little novella.
Margie's fantastic.
So Zach's doing great. Zach's doing great in the press.
Margie is fantastic.
Great.
I was extremely impressed, and that's the key to that book is it's a big book, but it's only a third of the whole, and so the main thing is the book had to be written so that you're satisfied at that point, and eager for the next one, but not sweating it. That's, by the way, there we go. That's a cover. Before you were showing a spine, the triple spine. When it's on your shelf, it's going to look like, okay, let's go to the spine.
Yeah. When it's on the shelf, it'll be that.
Yeah. And
all three volumes are side by side on the shelf.
Yeah. And but there's some fantastic World War II stuff in there, and he's great with domestic circumstances, and of course some odd things begin to happen, and that will evolve into odder things, and of course there's orgies. Zach can't write without orgies.
Right.
I mean, sometimes, like with some features of, what is it called? Some features
of living matter in the neighborhood of the sun.
Yeah, same as Zach's book. Yeah. He wrote that, and all the orgies were happening while he was writing, so none of them actually got in the book. But, Oscar submerges orgies. This one, orgies. And, it's good stuff. Southern Louisiana, as soon as I read it, I wanted to watch the True Detective the first year again to get a picture, just to look at Southern Louisiana again, because that film did a great job of just sending puffs of humidity and and lunacy through the
Well,
screen, but it was no
you
longer.
called it out. You called it right. Kieran Foster is here. Kieran Foster, artist. Thank you for coming
Hey,
by.
Kieran, I'm
Friday.
glad you made it. This is Noah, and he's a lot smarter than he sounds. That's the main thing about Noah. And he's bald. He's bald, and he talks. Yeah, he talks funny, but a lot of that is just ignorance, just plain ignorance.
It's just a Southern boy over here.
Yeah, say George Salas again.
George Salas?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Yeah. George Salas.
Stricken from the record.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
You're great at bringing out new authors, Rick. I'm glad to hear that you're going to continue with that. Your new author.
Kieran Forster may be one of them. Nice. He's a painter, and I don't know what else he wants to. I'm sure he would be happy for people to know that he's a painter in Brisbane. I don't know if I should say more. Hey,
yeah, that's
from
right.
Illinois.
Comes in the house. Love
from
you too,
Illinois.
Brother. Nice
all
to
the
see
way
you.
from Illinois. Good to see you. Watch out for them migrating rattlers. The eastern diamondbacks are going to be migrating up there because of the climate change.
Damn it, man.
Me and Kieran's in Brisbane, and so we were able to talk snakes, which is one of my favorite topics.
Oh yeah. That's a Rick Harsch. Anytime I think of snakes now, I think of Rick Harsch because of certain things in this one here. What is Kieran the guy that posted recently on Instagram an excerpt from the Cactus Boots? Did he read?
May well have been, because he's reading it right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I saw that. Very cool. Nice reading, brother. I saw that on yours, and I think that I saw it again today. That's why I'm bringing it up, because I think Phil had shared it on the Cactus Boots Instagram.
Phil's got insect type things. What's he say?
Scary snake talk. Getting PTSD. And then that he was the one that he did do a reading from the Cactus Boots. And you're very welcome, sir. You're very welcome, for sure.
Yeah, and great conversation earlier tonight. He's definitely a man of a spirit that very much fits into our all male coterie. Have we had a woman? Have we had a woman come in tonight?
I mean, I don't think so. But do we have? They might. Well, we have had a woman. We've had Emily here.
Oh, yeah. So
I think, but she's just keeping an eye on all of us guys when we're hanging out.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I love when people complain about the press not having enough women writers. Because my advice to a young woman writer would be to scout out the small press scene and find a good small press. If you don't find a better one, we'll take you. But there are presses that are doing well. That
are just hurting for a female, some female authors and looking for that. I mean, I'm sure obviously you're interested in publishing anything that you like, right?
And we have Vesna Radic, 2 books, and the book I'm sending you, the Finnegan sleeps here. It's sleeping down here. Yeah, Finnegan slept here.
Thank you, Kieran, for sure, brother. You're very welcome here. I love it, Rick. I remember you showing it when you first published that one. I really appreciate you throwing that one in. I'm looking forward to it.
It's just fun, you know.
Yeah.
A
Well, you
friend of
threw
mine.
in it was you it was another one that you threw in another purchase that I did before, I think. You threw in Tendrolopolis. This was one of the funnest thing. I mean, it was so fun to read and to yeah, you did. You said I'll throw it in there if you promise to do a video on it, do a booktube on it. So I
Okay,
had done that.
did you read the second one by Vesna
I have not
Radic?
read it yet. No, I haven't.
She's
Official.
promised. She's promised a third one that'll be called the Erotonomicon.
You know,
So-
you read from it though, and when you read from it, I was howling laughing because once you know what Vensa Radic, did I get it?
Vesna Radic.
Vesna Radic.
Yeah.
Once
You
you know
can
what
look at-
Vesna Radic can do, if you read excerpts from this one, and it was just I was howling. I was like, it was so funny that so yeah.
Well,
I'll pull it out.
One
You
of
know,
the
it's the one
first
day read.
reviews, one of the first reviews from Tendrolopolis compared it favorably to an erotic book by Robert Coover. And I thought that was, you know, I mean,
Nice.
it didn't mean anything to Vesna. She doesn't give a shit. She quit writing. This, you know, this is kind of a lark for her.
Right.
And so she doesn't care. And but she's happy. I mean, it's got her writing again.
Michael says that was me. That was him. Yes.
It was Michael?
Yeah.
He's got.
I enjoyed
Vesna's,
Tendrolopolis. I think I had the honor of posting the first review for it on Goodreads. Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, see?
Thank you.
See, this is why I got the new David Vardaman, because when you read it, you said Easter, that short story, was like the best short story that you've ever read.
Long short story, short novel. Yeah.
Is Easter a long one? Is it a novella kind of deal?
Yeah.
Vardaman is damn good,
I happen
man.
to have a copy of right here. And, you know, you got the spooky rabbit on there, which is in the film, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's you know, 100 and
Tendrolopolis was hilarious and great. I mean, Tendrolopolis was great, but I can't wait to read the Rado letters. I'm going to keep this one out. I'll pull it out. It'll, you know, it's a one day so we can read.
You know, I'm not, you know, I have some good friends amongst these people. I have no better friend on earth than David Vardaman, and David Rye is a friend for a long time, and Verush is working on the film music. She's in charge of Isosi film music, Isosi Productions film music, and you know, so. But I think as soon as you get these, you should say, all right, I trust Rick. I'm going to read Easter.
Yeah. I mean, right when I get the package, that's the first thing I'm going to read is that short story right there, man. I'm going to read Easter before I read anything else out of this package that you're sending.
Well, I made a mistake when I decided one time to read from this. You know, just a few pages, and I had forgotten how many times, you know, there's irascible is the word of the day, an irascible old man in Easter, and well, in the first pages, he's talking about you know, he was talking about his disgust at his son who gets fucked in the ass, you know, repeatedly in the first 4 pages. Damn. And, you know, you know, Vardaman is Vardaman's the kind of guy that, you know, um, he has no axes to grind, and he has no biases. He's pure, and this is what came out of it, and it's just I
love
can't
his
describe
stuff,
it.
man. I mean, you know, I love it. So, I mean, I can't wait to
Yeah,
experience
but
what it is.
this
So,
one has an extra Vardamanian crescendo to it, and it, like, the book kicks into a gear you do not expect,
nice.
and then when it does that, it kicks
Yes.
into another gear you don't expect.
Yes.
And it is just we've talked about filming it, but you know, I don't think we can do it. We need real actors, you know.
Oh yeah. Right.
I can do the improv, but there's no way I can do this.
Right.
So,
man. So Mr. Natural in the chat, I guess, is new to Corona Samizdat, so welcome. And they're saying is that, you know, these are new to me. Are they science fiction? And, you know, there is some sci-fi in Corona Samizdat's catalog, maybe more so Zach Tanner's work or Philip Friedenberg could be.
well, no, you know, if Friedenberg was, you know, you don't want to call that science fiction. And, you know, the thing is,
right.
There is a preponderance of new books coming out that are dystopian, near future,
right,
far future,
right.
but
Or
you know,
alternative present or alternative.
Purple West is that.
Yeah, there's some dystopian and like even a bended circuity. Isn't it something kind of like some historical satire or historical, like alternative historical fiction?
It is in a way, but you know, as somebody recently pointed out to me, it was difficult to recall while reading the book that this isn't 200 or 300 years old, that it, you know, the action takes place in the late 60s.
Damn.
You know, and I had the same problem when I was reading. It wasn't a problem, but you know, it's just you know, it didn't matter to me.
Yeah.
So but you know, okay, Solarium, I think the author would be disappointed if everybody said that's science fiction. It's dystopian future. Well, this one, someday we will all look back at this and laugh. I guess it's predictive.
Sure.
Yeah, that's cool. It for your stack.
Definitely forward looking and definitely literary. And thank you guys. All right. Hey, Rick.
That's sweeping across the literary landscape. People are very nervous about the future, and they're writing about, and their fear is palpable, and it's coming out in a series of dystopian novels. Say, what do you think about that movie about that son of a bitch who was all in favor of demonstrating that the bomb would work on a city? You know that about Oppenheimer?
Yeah, I think nothing about it. I'm not going to watch that crap.
Well, he
thanks for the response. Mr. Natural has got bended circuity, so he's going to read it soon, looking at the catalog and see some interesting stuff. So
it goes really quick. Every sentence in that book goes really quick if you just slow down. And,
I've read the first chapter twice. It's beautiful. It's awesome. You know, and it's and then it's just like I'm gonna have to just make the commitment and go at that one because you're gonna get swallowed. I'm gonna get swallowed up into that one. I mean, it's just such a
A Pastoral is another dystopian novel. It's a comic novel, and it's like I think you
It's
could
funny as
compare
hell,
you
and
could
it's
compare it to a
crazy.
Vonnegut novel. If you read most of Vonnegut um, after his sci-fi novel, a lot of it is Kilgore Trout comes appears in many books, but Vonnegut was always writing about the current circumstances, and that book was very Vonnegutian, if you don't mind my saying that in that manner.
I don't mind.
All right, well that's good. Um, uh, so you're letting this go on more than an hour. That's
I'm
unusual.
not. I'm just letting us kind of get to our point. I mean, yeah, we're after an hour. This was really fun, Rick. I don't want to, we don't have to take it too far. We don't have to take it too long, you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
what's
well,
wrong with what's
you
wrong
might
with the
have noticed.
Oppenheimer movie? I mean, nothing. It's just, propaganda.
Well,
But it's all good.
well, it's
you
just
know, you enjoy what you enjoy. I'm going to enjoy not watching just like I enjoy not
no.
watching.
I just read that no, there's
Yes.
Oppenheimer actively he had some sway, and he was very much in favor of using the bomb to show what it could do,
Sure.
and I mean using it in the war on a
Yeah.
city. So apparently that's not much shown in the film. I don't know if they had to show what happened in the film. I don't know why not. You know, you're gonna write this thing about the guy who organized all the scientists so well that they did build the bomb, even with Klaus Fuchs giving all the
You're
information
gonna love it,
about him.
Michael. You're gonna love it, Michael. Freaking A Pastoral is great. Great.
I'm
Con
talking
Rob.
movies here.
Yeah, right. I don't all good. Hey Rick. Happy Friday, man. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Nathan, be good to the snakes.
Nathan's a badass. I love you, brother. Have a good
Just
night.
take the snakes by the tail and throw them over the fence.
I think
Neighbor's yard.
Nathan's coming down to Georgia soon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hang out with him.
Okay. Well, you
We're
want to
gonna go
get
hit
over here?
some
You're
bookstores.
All right. Well, okay.
Have a good one, Rick. See you later.
Yeah. Thank you, Noah. I hope you understand that I behaved extremely. I've never behaved so well on your show.
Snakeology. Snackology. Mate, snackology.
I think I can. It's hard for me to read. It's so small. I don't think he spelled it CK. So that would be snakeology. Yeah. It's snakeotypes. Yeah, snarchetypes, snake archetypes. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. And he said that Jung had been more or less discredited, and I just thought that I don't know Jung well, and I failed in my reading of Freud. There are a couple of books I always really wanted to read. Civilization and Its Discontents being one, and I don't know. It was Camus and Sartre, or it was the Viennese and Swiss couple. I went for the French, and so I don't know as much as I should, but the whole idea that that some people fall out of favor in the psychiatric community just seems like
Right.
crazy. But then again, if any place is going to be crazy, why not that field?
Jung is huge for me as well, Kieran. I love the Jungian archetypes, and also just the work that was done. What I really want to get my hands on is a copy of the Red Book, right? Just there's a beautiful oversized reproduction of that. That's just, exactly what I want.
How big is it?
Emily's saying, "You're wonderful, Rick. You're a good guy."
Emily, you're a very quiet rebel, and but just stay with the rebel.
Okay,
you get
so,
loud when you need to.
In relation to how big I am in like this, the Red Book would be just about as big as the whole frame here. It's like that oversized. It's meant to, be read on some kind of book stand or podium or some shit. You can't even look at it. It's more of an art book. It's more of an art book. He wrote the whole thing in Italian, I think. And he definitely...
Giordano Bruno did that too. So did Gramsci.
Well,
Italo Calvino had that tendency.
No. Did I say Italian?
Yeah.
I meant Latin.
Well, same fucking thing,
So, and beautiful pictures. It's like done all painted, right? It's an illuminated book. So, it's more of an art piece. It's, you're not going to get it. Is it
really expensive?
Yeah.
Well, it's maybe you can get Alexander Theroux to buy it for you.
Right.
Tell him he's under attack every time his name comes up. There's this asshole on the internet who thinks he's a bastard. But I'll shut up about him if he buys you the Red Book.
Right. All right. Hey, I'll pass it along. I'll send him this video. I'll say, hey, this guy's talking shit about you, but he'll stop if you get me the Red Book. Right? Carl's Young.
Constantly. It makes me want to puke. The $170, $300, whatever.
Only because you want to read it and you can't, Rick.
And at the same time, no, I would never read him ever at this point. I'm 64 years old, and I still haven't finished The Idiot. And I've started it twice, loved it, and got derailed. So, why would I? It's okay. It's okay. It's okay if I never do.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to read Alexander Theroux before that.
Right.
And Stephen Moore notwithstanding.
Well, it's awesome hanging out with you, Rick. You're a badass. Thank you for chilling. William Gass says we need Darkenville. Rick, come on, Rick.
Well, Billy G, I just confronted you with your latest comment on my YouTube. I negated what you said, so you owe me a negation. We'll call it even, even if you're wrong.
Hey, Alexander Theroux's memoir is $25. Right? But he's still alive, right? You don't write a memoir, right? Come on.
Well, how do you write it when you're dead? No, I mean,
well,
it's a memoir
posthumously, right?
My
life as a writer.
It's hard enough to write. It's hard enough to write humously. Posthumously, I mean, it's very. There's the dust in your face, and
you write it and you put it in a safe deposit box somewhere, right?
Yeah, parasites and all kinds of just
decomposing. Hey, some of the posthumous memoirs of Bras Cubas, right? That's the only.
Some of the things that eat you when you're dying or dead. Some of the beetles and stuff like that. I mean, get a good close up of that, and the Serengeti lions are pussies. Compared to a good death beetle. Wendy, hi.
Yeah, look, Wendy Blake. is going to show. It's going to show up right at the very end. But we are
in Slovene. It's Blatske.
I thought it was Blake this whole time.
You thought it was William Blake?
Wendy Blake, long lost granddaughter of William Blake. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, Rick. It's awesome hanging out with you and talking literature, man.
Yeah, thanks all of you for showing up. And I want you to know it's 4:15 where I am, and that's in the morning. I'm chewing nicotine gum, and I've already made a package. This was an artificial.
Black.
That was
it's an Wendy Black, Rick.
Huh?
Thank you for the stack. Hey, her name is Wendy Black, and so she's another female we got in the chat. And then
why? Because it's black? No, it's black.
Thanks for the stack. No, she said it. It's pronounced like the color.
No, the color is Blatske in Slovene. Blatske.
Oh, that's how you pronounce the color. Good effort, Rick and Noah. I don't know if that's tongue in cheek or not, but hey, we tried it.
Well, the tongue's been going everywhere. I don't chew gum normally. So
Emily says goodbye, everyone. So
just be glad the tongue doesn't have an extension that allows it all over the face. Right. I'll leave you with that image. With the image of parasites and prognathous tongues, if that's a thing. I think it would be.
Y'all have a good one. Happy Friday, everybody. Awesome.
Thanks,
see you later, Rick. Bye.
Leave.